What is up, guys? It is your boy Royal Mech, and today I have another deck list for you. If you've read the script title, saw the thumbnail, we are going back to the dark side. So today I have my list for my black base Wargreymon deck, primarily emphasizing Black War. Now, you last saw my last video. That one was for Victory Gray. Link in the description below for the Victory Gray list. But this one is going to be for Black War. Now, Black War, now that it has a black base, gets to feel more like what it was supposed to feel like. And it feels actually a lot more stable in what its game plan was than its original style. Now, let's go into it. I'll do like normal. We explain all of the reasons we play certain cards and all that fun stuff. So to start off with the eggs, we play 4 copies of the starter deck Coromon. This has the ability all turns once per turn. When an attack target is changed, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP till the end of turn. Now, this is the premise of the black base in general is just blocking and grinding you out and turtling. Blackwargreymon does this really well. So, why not? This is actually the best egg if you're going to play the black base. Well, you could also play the Coromon that went in tandem with the black War Gray line, but it's not as stable compared to just gaining more DP. You need the defensive power. Next, we play 1 copy of the Black Agumon. This is in here because it's just a great searcher. You get to play it for 3, look at top 4, grab a Greymon and a Dragonkin, and just keep it pushing. Most of the deck is Greymon or Dragonkin, so you're always going to be able to at least pull 1 to 2 and just keep it pressing, right? Then we play 4 copies of BT12 Agumon. This is pretty much stable in all Greymon decks at this point. Searches for ties and your Greymons and your Omnis. Gives 1000 DP on both players' turns. Great for defensive use. Next, we do play 3 copies of the Black Agumon from the starter deck. It has the ability where it digivolves off a Coromon for 0. Then it has the starter main phase ability. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain a memory. And the inheritable, whenever an attack target is changed, gain a memory. Good and defensive. This definitely helps, but that is on all turns as well, so you can actually use this as a factor to helping with extending your turns. I've done it a lot that way over just ending my turn and waiting on blocks to do it. This can help you keep their memory so low. And then last but not least, we finally have use for the Black Agumon X. Now, this card is actually incredibly good. Red doesn't have space for it because this can't digivolve off of anything. This can't digivolve just off of stuff. You have to digivolve it off of Agus or hard play it. So, however, in the black base, it can digivolve off the Coromon for free. And it has the ability where on play or when digivolving, you reveal the top 3 cards of the deck. You can add a X antibody. You can add a card with Greymon or X antibody in its name and 1 black tamer among them to your hand. Then you place the rest of the bottom of the deck. Why this is good is it searches all your pieces. This literally searches the entire deck. This also helps you grab your ties more. This is another guy to help search your tamer. So it helps you search ties. It helps you search all your Digimon pieces. It does really well if you wanted. I don't, but you can play Yui in here again, and this can search Yui's out. So Yuji's out, so you're just out, so you have your option protection. But then it has the inheritable, right? That you can get rid of an X antibody from under the evolution source to prevent deletion or return to bomb deck. So this has the same inheritable as the one of BT, BT 10, BT 11 the virus type of Greymon X. So now you have another card to trigger that wonderful protection. And that's important because of our champion side. And I'll get back to why. Now in Champions, we run 2 copies of BT12 Greymon. On Digivolve, if you don't have a Tide Kamiya in play, you get to play one for free. Really good. Then it has the Inheritable, just like the BT12 Agu. During you and your opponent's turn, gain 1,000 DP, keeping up that defensive pressure. Sorry, question. We run 3 of them. Not 2. We only run 3. I'm bad. 3 of them, you know, pressure, keep the defensive game going strong on the back end. Then we play 4 copies of the starter deck Greymon. Now, why we play this Greymon is twofold. One, it has the security effect of when it's triggered in security, you can play an Agumon or a card of Agumon in its name, or a Tai Kamiya Tamer from your trash or hand for free. So this helps keep your board going, especially if it's hit security. Then it has the Inheritable, just like the Agumon. If a card target is switched, draw a card. Next up, we only play 2 copies now of the Greymon X Antibody. Primary reason most of this deck is black, not red. So you're only going to go into this is if you've hit your Greymon. So without it, not really anything big. But now this deck is actually a lot more protective because you can have this and the black Agumon in the stack, and that's if done right, you should be at 4 protections. All right, excuse me, guys. And then last but not least, 1 copy of Greymon, the one of Greymon X. You guys all know this is the one that does the whole reduce Evo cost and then has the same protection as the Agu X. So remove X antibody and just keep it pressing, and you keep the guy on board. Next up, we go into our level 5s. We play 3 copies of the Metal Greymon. Really good. Just helps play Tamers, Raid, Piercing, all that good stuff on the aggression end. Defensive end, not as much, but it also just helps. You mainly are playing it to help speed out those Tamers so that you can keep your turn going without issue. Then we play 2 copies of... There you are. 2 copies of the Virus Metal Gray. This one has Digivolve, and then it has the ability... during your turn, if this has Dragonkin, it is or Machine, you're able to attack unsuspended Digimon. This is really good because you get to just target your opponent's Digimon instead of risking security and keeping their board under control, and just let your other effects deal with the security alone. And speaking of other effects to just deal with the security, we play 3 copies of the Virus Metal Greymon Ace. This is pretty much just to protect you from Digivolve, DP reduction, as well as it just is good. Also helps delete, just like delete a 6k DP. But then it has the Inheritable. When a Digimon unsuspends during your opponent's turn, you get to go ahead and just kill one of their security. With your Vanguard in play, if you're with your thinking a different game. With Greymon in play, your Greymon X or Gaiomon, you're always going to have reboot, so you're always going to unsuspend and trash the security at the beginning of their turn. Then we'll go into our level 6s. I play 2 copies of the Black War. This is honestly more of a 2-2 split all the way through because of just being able to handle all situations. Black War allows you to just kill some Tamers, kill import pieces up to 6 play cost. Has unsuspend when a Digimon is deleted. So if this is the only thing in your tower right now, you block it, it kills the blocker, unsuspend, you're good. And then on aggressive turn, it unsuspends after killing something too. Then we play 2 copies of Gaiomon. It digivolves off of Black War for 2, so it's really good there. But then it also has security attack +1, reboot. On Digivolve, you can digivolve something if you have a black base, and if you have a red base, you get Blitz. So it's a really good pressuring card. Plus, it's also 13k, so when it starts blocking, it just causes more issues, but it's primarily your aggression. And then last but not least, we play 2 copies of Blackwargreymon X Antibody. This is your big blocker. He has the ability once per turn when it unsuspends, kill something with the lowest DP. When in anything unsuspends, kill the lowest DP as long as you have Greymon X antibody. Then has the other ability of redirecting, so you can use it to redirect the swing and then block, keeping you with 2 blockers and primarily using it at the right time for all instances. And then last but not least, we play 1 copy of the Omnimon X. Primarily reason is for that finisher to just swing, get rid of that last 2 security, get rid of pieces on board. At 16, it is a big hit if it's hitting security. If you see it, you see it. You don't, you don't. You primarily just want to use it as a wall in the security stack. Now, seeing all the X antibodies, we do sadly only still play a 2 here as well. The deck still has enough search for it, as well as we draw. This deck definitely draws a lot. I can attest to that. So you're going to definitely see it at least once. You're going to see it either in hand, you're going to see it in trash. This is kind of just needed at 2. There's not really much space to put it more than 2 without losing some consistency pieces. Next, we play 2 copies of Hades Force. This is primarily just another board clear. If X antibody is inheritable, it plays for 5. Can kill up to the total play cost of your Greymon on board. Then you just get to swing. This can is used as a pseudo blitz. It's just really good. Next up, 3 copies of Defense Training. No real explanation needed. Defense trainings are really good. They do a lot of great work. I would not change it for anything. This is just stable in all decks, especially with how most of this version of the deck is really high in Evo costing. So this just helps keep us balanced and still going at the same rate as other decks. Now on the Tamers, we play 1 copy of the starter deck tie. Really good, especially when you're doing all the redirects, gain 2 KDP, and bounce back. With how everything else works here, you really don't need an extra memory tamer because you'll find it. But we also run other tamers that also help subjugate memory, so it's not that big of a deal. Speaking of other tamers, we run 3 copies of BT12 tie. We all know on Digivolve gain a memory, plus 1,000 in blocker, really good. And then last but not least, I played 2 copies of Cool Boy. So this also helps search for the X antibodies, all your pieces on the top end, as well as gain a memory, draw a card. Like I said, this deck draws and gains memory like crazy. So this is the deck. There isn't really much more to talk about it. It has problems against security control. But that's only because we can't fit a Yuya. If I could fit a Yuya, if I were to fit Yuya, it'd probably be by replacing the starter deck tie. But outside of that, the deck runs really well. I haven't really had problems with it, except when I'm dealing with security control, or when I heavily brick, which I did against a Commandramon deck this past Thursday, and it just didn't feel good. But this is really good. Really enjoyed. That's been the list, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. A couple announcements. Like last time, once again, Saturdays from 2 p.m. East Pacific Standard Time, I will be streaming Digimon Story. Come on by, come chill out. You guys might be able to pick a couple Digimon for the party, do all that fun stuff, right? As well as, let's see, any other things we want to talk about. Well, once again, link will be in the description below for the Greymon deck, for the Victor Greymon list, as well as the my link tree, so you can check out the t-shirt for the channel. That is like the first version prototype. So it's going to be all, if you get it, cool. If you don't, also cool. Just please remember, like, comment, subscribe on the channel, show your support. And it's been greatly appreciated, guys. Once again, this has been Royal Mac, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.